Russian oligarchs used to be star guests over here. Now we've seen Russia has been blocked. How are you dealing with Russian participation here in the context of some of the corporates feeling that targeting industrialists is unfair because they're not responsible for Putin's war?
So, firstly, I think the key for unlocking this is with Mr. Putin. If he then goes back to the UN Charter and also stick to international law, then there is another situation. Many of these companies that you just mentioned are also now sanctioned by the UK government, the US government, Europe, Australia, Japan. So we could not even have them here because they are sanctioned because of what is happening in Ukraine. What the future will bring, we don't know. It's now up to the Russians themselves and Mr. Putin if he wants to continue on the path he has chosen now, or he wants to go back and start collaborating again.
I remember coming here a few years ago when President Xi Jinping spoke very passionately about globalization and trade. Now, given all that's happened, is WEF re-evaluating where China stands in the global conversation on account of what we've seen play out over the last couple of years?
I think the important role of the World Economic Forum is still to be a platform where we bring also people together that don't necessarily look at things the same way. So we have room for China, we have room for India, we have room for also the US and many African countries and Latin Americans. The reason why we also took a clear stand on Russia is that they are breaking international law, and there is a war going on not very far from here. So that's a special case. But I do hope that in the years to come we will see increased collaboration again and not increased of a fractured world, because you're going to pay a high price for that. A fractured world will also lead to less prosperity, less trade will lead to less growth, and that means less jobs.
One of the key themes at WEF this year is global resilience in food supply systems, in energy systems. What are the ideas that you're pushing, wanting world leaders to embrace so as to be able to build that global resilience? Because the last challenge was the pandemic, the current challenge is the war. Who knows what the next challenge will be?
Exactly. We still have blind spots, I'm afraid. So we should be better at identifying potential blind spots in the future, and then we should build resilience. And I think resilience is really about an insurance that we then are introducing. We know that food prices have increased a lot, fertilizers doubled. We are also potentially seeing new pandemics around the corner. To invest now to avoid that these end up in new very critical situations is worth it. So the cost of inaction far exceeds the cost of action in many of these areas.
In the estimates of the World Economic Forum, how far back will this war push the global economic recovery?
There is a combination of several factors. The COVID situation now in China, second largest economy in the world, is potentially even exporting deflation. China has been a big demander for oil, gas, other minerals, and etc. COVID is still around and can also increase again. Then the war is also creating less of economic growth in Europe. Europe has to find alternative energy sources. So Europe is the largest market in the world, and if the largest market in the world starts growing slower, it will impact all of us. So I think we're lucky if we can go out of this year with 3% global growth, and hopefully we're able to also sustain global growth next year. For India, though, I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think India still can carry 7 to 8% economic growth this year. But India is also relying on the global markets and demand for its products. So if there is a recession, of course, that will also hit India quite significantly down the road.
I read your piece in Business Today where you spoke of India emerging as a global innovation hub. Can you share some thoughts on how you see India in this post-pandemic world and the role that India could play in trying to boost global recovery?
India has unique skills and have a very young population that works in the benefit of India. But India also of course, needs to build further skills, also has to start competing more with the US and China on the new technologies, being artificial intelligence, big data, also on digital currencies. So India has to use this unique opportunity to also modernize its economy. I'm very bullish on behalf of India long term. I'm also medium term. Short term, there are challenges, but there are challenges for all of us.